Turning now to some very rare good news for Democrats. A clear victory for their candidate, Susan Crawford, for a crucial seat on Wisconsin's Supreme Court. She beat out a Republican who was closely tied to President Trump, and the election was also seen as a test of political power, the power of billionaire Elon Musk, who spent millions on the race. Ed O'Keefe has been following it all for us. Ed, they said it was Elon's money versus liberal anger, and I guess the anger won. Good morning.
Yeah, anger beat cash this time. Good morning, Tony. This was viewed as one of the first major political tests for President Trump and his coalition since he took office. Elon Musk and his America PAC poured more than $20 million into the race, and he made a high-profile visit to Wisconsin, rallying support for conservative judicial candidate Brad Schimmel, and as you see there, personally handed out million-dollar checks to 2 voters. Schimmel embraced the president's endorsement and Musk's donations while stating he wouldn't be a reliable yes vote on the bench for either if elected. While Crawford made a point in the closing weeks of running against the Musk money. Her victory secures a liberal majority on the state's highest court. Although mega donors aren't new to politics, this became a rejection of the world's richest man and his attempts to sway an election in a key state. And Musk became a lightning rod amid his ongoing attempts to dismantle parts of the federal government. Also Tuesday, down in Florida, they held 2 special elections for House seats to succeed former Congressman Matt Gaetz and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. As expected, Republicans easily won in the ruby red districts, but Democrats cut into the larger margins the GOP had enjoyed last November. Keeping these seats was key for Republicans as they attempt to pass more of the president's agenda. There are now 220 Republican seats, 213 Democratic seats, a narrow margin in a party that has known to have a few no votes, Gayle.
All right, we're paying attention, Ed. But before you go, yesterday, you know this, Senator Cory Booker made history, breaking a record for the longest Senate speech at 25 hours and 4 minutes. No bathroom breaks, no food. He was protesting what he called a crisis brought on by the Trump administration's policies.
When our founder said we must mutually pledge to each other, our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor, we need that now from all Americans. This is a moral moment. It's not left or right, it's right or wrong. Let's get in good trouble. My friend, Madam President, I yield the floor.
Ed, Cory Booker kept saying repeatedly, this is not about Democrat or Republican, this is about right and wrong. Do you think that that message resonated, and why do you think he chose to make this speech now?
Well, first of all, he breaks a record that was held by the late Strom Thurmond, who had spoken about that long, 24 hours and change. He hit 25 hours and change, so he breaks a long-standing record. And look, at the same time the Democrats were keeping margins closer in Florida and winning a big race in Wisconsin, this appeared to be an attempt by someone who may one day run for president again to show that Democratic leaders in Washington, at least, are putting a little action behind their words and literally putting their bodies on the line as they try to speak out against President Trump. He made use of a rare Senate power. You can hold the control of the floor of the Senate as long as you try to make a point. He used the stories of constituents from across New Jersey. He earned bipartisan praise for doing so. And you're wondering, Gayle, how'd he do it? This is a guy who'd done hunger strikes before. He had started dehydrating himself and fasting on Friday. Didn't drink much water yesterday, so he didn't have to run to the bathroom. Gayle?
All right, Ed,
Nate?
a lot of people talking about it today.
Wow.
Yeah, all of us are here, Ed, and we all thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
All right.
All right.